Christmas at Thompson Hall, retold in a fireside style. The wind was whispering through the streets of Paris, carrying with it a hint of Christmas. In a fine hotel not far from the station, Mrs. Brown sat by the fire, anxious and restless. Tomorrow, she and her husband were to continue their journey to England, to Thompson Hall, her family's ancestral home, for the long-awaited Christmas gathering. It had been years since she'd spent Christmas there, and her heart longed for it. The laughter, the carols, the warmth of family. But her husband, Mr. Brown, was less enthusiastic. A man of fragile health and delicate disposition, he found endless reasons to delay. "My dear," he groaned from the bed, "my throat, oh, it burns. I fear I shall not survive the night without a mustard poultice." Mrs. Brown sighed but rose at once. She was patient, loyal, and as many wives know, accustomed to humoring her husband's ailments. So off she went, through the dim corridors of the hotel, in her nightdress and shawl, clutching a candle to light her way. The hotel was silent, save for the creak of floorboards and the distant ticking of a clock. At last she found the kitchen, roused a sleepy servant, and obtained a jar of strong mustard. With it in hand she hurried back, only to discover, too late, that every hallway looked the same. Still, she was certain she had found the right room. The door was slightly ajar. Inside, the faint glow of embers revealed a figure lying asleep, his throat uncovered. Without a moment's hesitation, she spread the mustard thick and warm, and laid the poultice carefully across his neck. A second later came a roar so loud it seemed to shake the building. The man leapt upright, flailing and shouting in French and English alike. "Good heavens, madam! What is this outrage?" Terrified, Mrs. Brown dropped the jar, fled into the corridor, and didn't stop running until she was safely back in her own room, pale and breathless. "What's happened, my dear?" asked Mr. Brown weakly. "Oh, nothing," she stammered, trembling. "Just go to sleep." Morning came. They packed quickly, hoping to slip away unnoticed, but as they passed through the lobby, Mrs. Brown froze. There, wrapped in scarves and fuming with indignation, stood a familiar figure. Sir Thomas, her brother-in-law. His neck was red, blistered, and heavily bandaged. It was he, the unfortunate victim of her midnight ministrations. Mrs. Brown could feel her face turning crimson. Sir Thomas was declaring to anyone who would listen that he had been assaulted by some mad intruder wielding mustard in the dead of night. Mrs. Brown quietly urged her husband forward. "Come along, my dear, we mustn't miss our train." And so they departed, leaving behind a very confused Sir Thomas and a hotel staff whispering about the mustard incident. When they finally reached Thompson Hall, Mrs. Brown greeted her family with as much dignity as she could muster. No one ever discovered who had committed the mysterious attack. Yet each time Sir Thomas cleared his throat at the dinner table and muttered about the hazards of travel, Mrs. Brown could not help but blush behind her napkin. A fireside reflection. And so it was that a wife's good intention led to a most memorable Christmas at Thompson Hall. She had meant only to bring comfort and succeeded in stirring up a grand commotion instead. Yet isn't that often the way of Christmas? We stumble, we mix things up, we make our share of blunders. But beneath it all lies something tender, the desire to care for one another even when our efforts go awry. Mrs. Brown's heart was in the right place, and perhaps in the laughter that followed, her family discovered what Christmas truly brings. Not perfection, but love, forgiveness, and stories that grow fonder each time they're told.